All right, we should be live. Welcome to Talking Investing. Friday afternoon. Here with Tom and George. What do you got to say, George?
Oh, did you hear that Powell's mic was off when he was on the phone? He was on the phone with somebody. He said, "Hey, do me a favor, short the bitch." Right?
Now there's somebody that should not be allowed to buy and sell stocks.
Yeah.
He single-handedly
Short it. Short it. I think it's going down, everyone.
Yeah, I think. So this is stocks crushed after Powell's Jackson Hole speech. Dow falls 1,000 points. NASDAQ drops 4%. 3.94% is where it ends up. The NASDAQ got pummeled, and it got worse. It leveled off after like an hour after the speech, and then everything just Friday afternoon sell-off, except for Bitcoin. We'll get to Bitcoin when everybody joins in.
Hey guys, don't worry. Its day is coming.
It took a hit. Don't get me wrong. It took a hit, but it leveled off, and everything else just kept getting destroyed. I mean, look at this day. The Dow down 1,000. That used to mean something.
This kind of in the new regime. This is just a par for the course, honestly.
It's a part of the process, but man, I remember the first time the Dow ever went down $1,000 in one day, and it was like the sky is falling, and that was only, I think that was in 2007 or 8. But then it went up 1,000 the next day. But that's not going to happen because it's Friday.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, if nothing major happens over the weekend, which there's a lot of major things happening. I don't know if you guys like pay attention to like world events and like where people are moving ships and warships and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things happening right now. Should really give you confidence in buying oil.
Just on principle, I'm not buying oil.
Oh,
hello,
well,
Miguel. Hello, Alex.
That's not
hello,
a good
Martin.
one.
Hey, Barry. All right, Barry's asking you, George, are you buying back in now?
Nope.
The
I've done some technicals, okay?
Did a little technical analysis.
I've done technicals.
What'd you come up with?
I'm not buying until it hits the low.
Until we get back to 17.5. Or you mean whatever the low is?
Yeah, the low. I mean, I'm buying at the low. I'm thinking it's going.
Your strategy, you're going to buy low and sell high?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Buy Bitcoin and ETH, hold for 6 months, says Bitcoin family. I mean, I agree. I'm probably going to hold a lot longer than that. Martin says it's a brutal day. Yeah, you got that right. But we did finish at a very funny place, so we'll dig into that.
I don't expect any big movement on Bitcoin this weekend, by the way. I just don't see it happening. Do you, Tom?
You're saying up or down?
Right. No. Yeah, exactly.
I think there could be a move to the downside. I think.
Yeah, but I'm not saying.
Yeah. No, I don't see a crash.
Yeah, no, nothing crazy yet.
No, we're drifting around right now. There's no doubt. We drifted up for a week. Now we're drifting down a little. Hey, Seth. Hey, Sour Melon Gaming.
Whoop whoop.
George on Sour Melon Gaming saying George on 2 live streams in a row.
I know that's weird. This is a weird week.
Something big's going on. But we got George on back-to-back live streams.
By the way, I like ETH right now. By the way, I think ETH. I don't know if Tom agrees with this. I think not financial advice. Look at the top. I think ETH could go to 10,000 within 2 years.
Where now? So are you buying that right now?
No. I think it's going to get back down below 1,000.
think it's going to go below 1,000 and then go ballistic.
Some good XRP news. I don't know if anybody heard.
No. Well,
The dump could be over with. The dump could be over with. That could be huge. But I'm still not buying any of that either.
Well, you already have... Yes, but you already have a decent-sized position in that at the time being.
Let's put it this way. I have enough to do my own node, if anybody knows what that means. And I might do my own node. I'm nosy. No, is that nosy?
Nosy.
Nosy, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, do you think ETH will kick off a rally, Tom?
I feel like everything's pulling back right now. So we had a week where we drifted upward a little after a big push down. I think the next move is down. Not catastrophically down. I think we're just finding a bottom. That is a part of the process. You know, are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? There's a third thing. There's just a period where you're drifting, finding a bottom. You know,
I think October could be bad. But then again, it could be good.
October surprise.
Wow. I don't even know what it's got. Only thing is, I was listening to, who was that band called? It goes with War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Sing it again. War, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
You got war on the brain, or you just like that song?
No, I got war on the brain. I mean, it doesn't everybody think something's gonna happen? I mean, is it just me?
I don't know. Let's see in the comments section or the chat. You know, everybody's definitely on edge. Hey, Colton. Seth, BTC broke a rising wedge, so the target is the bottom of the wedge. So that's 17.5, I think. No, Seth? That's I mean, that's my last line in the sand. I don't think we're going any lower than we went. And if we do revisit
are you kidding me? You really think that?
I really do. I do. Let's go to the chart.
I am telling you right now, there's just no way.
This was June 18th. It's now August 26th. So this was well over 2 months ago. And you can see we just flash crashed. We flashed down to 17.5. We closed that daily candle at almost 19. So we spent no time under 19. The very next day we closed way above that, and we never closed under 19 again. So to me, this was a flash crash down to 17.5. I feel like that's my opinion. Obviously anything could happen and we could go. I never thought we would get to 17.5. Let's say that. So I was dead wrong on that.
Well, what was your line of support that it didn't hit, Tom?
15,700.
So the reason I think it's going down there is every single time it doesn't hit the support, eventually it always gets there. That's my reasoning.
And my 15,700 line, for anybody who's wondering, that was the only other 2 times we ever went below the 200-week moving average. Both of those times we had a very quick 30% pullback and then an almost instant recovery. So obviously this time is very different. We spent a month. We're still under we just went back under the 200-week. So this has never happened before. So, if history had repeated itself, there was a 30% pullback. It's an unbelievably small sample group. So, to say that definitively, but that was my $15,700 line. Would be a 30% pullback from the 200-week moving average when we crossed it. But it's a month and a half later now, so I don't know.
Yeah, but even it doesn't matter. It always seems to get back down there. It always does. And hey, you got to remember. Oh, jeez. Hang on. I got to email somebody. I had a major malfunction today on my website where somebody came in and hacked me and took over it and took it all down.
Are you going to remember what you were about to tell us, though?
Yeah, no, with the whole thing about getting to the support of 15.7, is, to me, it's a game, and I think that they like, oh, I'm gonna get there. You know what I mean? And I just think all this, and there's another reason why it's got to get there, because I'm out right now, and I needed to go back
Yeah.
down there so I don't look like I was stupid in July for a tax refund. Right?
Well, I mean, it was you can't lose, but what you wanted to do was win twice, and
Yeah, that's come on. I'm all in.
for the
I'm not
rest
in it.
for the rest of us, well, hey, listen, it's an opportunity for everybody to buy in. Robert said that I look well rested. Thank you. I look rested. Well, it's some new product I'm using. That's not true. I don't use any product. I think we will drift down. Hey, Alex, I think we will drift down till the rate hike end of September. Yeah, I mean, that's not that far from now. It's going to be September next week, so we're less than a month away from the Fed meeting again. They're going to do a rate hike, and, you know, if you believe what he said today, the sky is falling, so... Seth said, honestly, you guys need to have me on sometime. Oh, I could show
Definitely.
you guys some fun stuff. All right, well, let's plan that.
I mean, that would make me excited if you were a female.
Great.
Oh God, right? Like, oh no.
What? What's happening?
So I believe Bitcoin has a higher low since last month from all the new holders that brought in during this little rally.
So you think
That's what
that
Jamie
means
said.
Jamie thinks we're not going all the way back down to 17.5. I think is what he's saying. And Seth just appropriately says, "Wow." So you guys can see, I'm going to go to the 15-minute candle because this stopped. So the first line of support we talked about was when the rally was over. You know, we had this nice, obviously huge 2-month relief rally. And the first price target that I had was this basically $20,719. However, I will say, even I said, this is very optimistic. I don't believe that's where we're going. But we have found support now for a full week at this number. And I'm going to go to the 15-minute because we tested it. Like look at what's happening right now. I'm zooming way in on the 15-minute. Like we are on. We're kind of under and on this line now. So, you know, it's not enough time has passed, but we're on the brink. We're on the brink of maybe taking the next leg down. I don't mean to be a pessimist, but you know what? If we're going to go down, it might as well be over the weekend. And I felt all along. So, George, for me, I have my pink line is just under 20,000 or whatever color that is.
Right.
And that is the high from the 2017 bull market of Bitcoin. So...
What was the high from the 2017?
This pink line right here. And
what was the number? What's the number?
About 19,800, 19,000. It was just under 20,000. It depends what chart you look at, but it was somewhere in that neighborhood. So just under 20,000. And for me, 20,000 could hold because that's a nice psychological line as well. So,
well, I think they wanted to hold at 20,000. You know, but I don't think it's going to.
I felt like we were either going to land here at, you know, just under 20 or here at just over 19. But the next step down is where we were, which was 17.5-ish. So we don't know. But my point of all that was, I mean, let me go to the 1 hour and show you. I mean, we really haven't. Look at this. So we pulled back and we broke that. This gave us a lower low once we went through this purple line, and we went straight through it as normal. When you break a line of support, you just smash through it and it's gone. But you know, we almost tested this twice a week ago, and then we never got anywhere near it. So now this moment right now, this Jerome Powell speech, this is the decider. Like, we just went straight here, started talking here, and then we just went boom.
I haven't told everybody my theory.
What's your theory?
My theory is that not only is Bitcoin going down, gold's going down, and silver's going down. The only thing that's going to be holding itself is oil.
Well, silver and gold, I have to say I'm very disappointed in. Okay, so while we're at it, we'll just look. The S&P was down over 3%. The Dow was down 3%. Does anybody ever look at the Dow? Do you guys follow the Dow at all? Because I have to tell you, I used to, you know, for years I followed that, and now it just feels like it's meaningless. The NASDAQ was down 3.94%, so almost 4%. The Russell 2000 down 3.3%, but here's what we wanted to look at. Gold down 1%, $1,749. So George, I don't know if you remember the day this gold went over 2,000 for like one day, and immediately on that day there was an article. You just missed your last chance to buy gold under 2,000.
Yes, I remember that.
It will never be under 2,000 again, and it's been under 2,000 every single day since that day. Gold's now down on the year, and so is silver. I mean, silver's way down. The euro's under $1.
That right there is the most shocking thing.
Let's go year to date. These aren't the best charts, but that's okay.
Does anybody think I'm nuts with that statement about gold and silver going down too? Any stored wealth.
How bad do you think it's going to get? I mean,
25%.
25% from here?
Yep.
I mean,
I think everything across the board is going down 25%.
Silver was at, where was this? Oh, this was today. It was way higher than this.
Oh, yeah. I think
silver was at almost
Mr.
$27.
John Q. Public, I agree. Everything's going to be going up for a little while. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the sky's falling right yet.
Oh, John Q. Public's got a couple. You think we got a couple of week rally in us?
Yeah, I think I was in shock. I think we might have until they release it, and then if they do under what everybody expects going to happen for the increase of the interest rate. So let's say now everybody thinks it's going to go up 0.75, right? I mean 75 basis points.
75 basis points. Yeah, I think.
And then it only goes up 50 basis points. We're going to have a rally then. Don't you guys agree?
And I would not be surprised at either one of those outcomes. 50 and 75 are still on the table. I mean, he said all his scary stuff today, but did it really change where we already knew they were?
Listen to this. Seth, I'm not saying I disagree with buying silver. I'm not saying I disagree. I just think it's a strategy. I think you have to put the strategy out there, and the strategy is tank it.
You're saying just tank everything in the short term.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think a year from now we should be sitting pretty. If who knows, silver could be worth could double. I mean, it'd be the first time ever. I think silver hasn't been like very steady for the last 20 or 30 years.
Silver hasn't been a big mover yet. There's always, they talk about the gold bugs, but there's a lot of silver bugs out there too. Silver was at $26 in March.
Mr. Burns, I have a question for you. Do you think that China closed down their lithium mines to keep energy prices down? Is that what you think? I just want to know. Because I don't think that I think that they want to increase the price of lithium batteries. I don't think that they would. Whoa. I don't think they care about energy in China. I don't think they care about it at all. Matter of fact, they have, what was it? Was it 400 energy electric plants? Coal burning electrical plants was being built in China. Was it 400 or 450? You remember this
I don't know,
time?
but I know that they use
They're going to have a humongous surplus. I don't know if anybody's watched. They're knocking down building after building that who was that Evergrande didn't finish. They're knocking them down.
Oh, they're just going to that's a waste.
I know, it's insane. You got to see it, Tom. If I didn't see the real footage of it, I wouldn't believe it. They're just knocking them down.
Seth is calling for silver $80, by the way.
Listen, I don't. First of all, Mr. Burns, I'm gonna. Maybe it's just my What's the way I want to? How do I want to spin this? I'm trying to be
skeptical nature.
No, yeah. China doesn't care about their citizens. I mean, they just don't. I mean, probably here we go again. Sorry, we're gonna get freaking copyright striked again. I'm sorry, or whatever. We're not gonna get monetized. But I mean, they just don't. And I mean, you can look at current events and you can look at history of why they don't. And the only reason they'd be closing down the mines is so that the price of batteries are going up. Or there's a surplus someplace and they're not talking about it.
I mean,
you know what?
China's got the lithium. That's for sure.
I had an interesting conversation with Putin the other day. You guys are going to like this. Everybody's like, freaking Russia. You know, Russia's making the cost of oil go up. It's skyrocketing right now, man. So, you know what Putin said to me? He goes, George, I don't need anything. I got everything I need here. We can close the borders off. We're fine. Have a good day. Right? I mean, think about this. We're relying on other countries for stuff. I mean, fertilizer. I don't know if you know how bad fertilizer is becoming.
There's a fertilizer situation. All of the world's supply chain broke very badly during COVID, and it's not even close to fixed. And it was broken even before that. I think there's a lot of countries, you know, we live in the U.S., so that's the perspective we're speaking from, but I think there's an awful lot of countries that have to find a way to bring a lot of their supply chain back to something more local. This global supply chain thing, what it does is, you know, it's the weakest link theory. If there's one weak link in the chain, the whole thing breaks. So it's. But
I'm going to tell you something. I didn't see Burns. I didn't see. The reason I call you Burns is because of Simpsons. Just so you know, Burns. I didn't see. I think we were bottom around 12K. I didn't see that. Yes, you are right. I still have 80% down from the 18. See, this guy knows. This guy knows. He knows. How do you know? You just know.
Who knows?
I actually think that the growth in Bitcoin was 100% artificial.
And which growth? Back in 2021?
Ever since 2020, since that whole fiasco, I think everything that's happened since 2020 is going to change. In the stock market, in Bitcoin, I think any of those growth, it's all going away. That's what I think. I think so.
Thank
I mean,
you, Dr. Gloom.
No, I'm not, dude. It's a game.
You're talking short term, or first of all, JD, thanks. He said this show rocks. Talking investing live shows.
Well, I'm trying to get my CUDAB site going, and I keep having problems. And then I found out what happened, Tom. That guy took my license number and used it someplace else.
Aha.
And that's what happened, and that's why I shut it off.
George has got his hands in a lot of different projects. So one of them...
I love the internet because the internet is the future. The internet still today is this small. Unfortunately, the internet's going to control everything. I mean, in 20 more years, I mean, malls. I mean, what are they going to be? Skateboard parks? I mean, they're going to be gone.
Well, that's already an issue. There's no doubt. They're going to be Amazon warehouses.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Anders says, I did buy on Riot at $6.92. Don't know if it was worth it or not. I mean, if you're dollar cost averaging in my opinion, someday you're going to look back and go, yeah, that was awesome. It could go down from here, though. I think there's one more push to the downside. I don't think it's going to be dramatic. I don't think the Bitcoin, even more so, I don't think the Bitcoin miners are going to take out their lows, even if Bitcoin revisits its low. A lot of the Bitcoin miners have, shored things up a little bit better, and there was more panic on the miners' side. Everybody was just convinced, like, all miners were going out of business, and they were all priced to go out of business. Every single publicly traded Bitcoin miner was down 90% or more in the middle of June. So that's crazy. Some of them were down 95% or more. 28% of the world's fertilizer supply comes from the Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, I mean, that's a dramatic...
Who thinks Russia's winning the... Oh, we got a chat. We got the first one, Tom. You ready? Who thinks Russia's winning the war, or who thinks Ukraine is winning the war?
Yeah, what do you want me to do, a poll?
A poll. I want to know on a poll. That's a poll. Who do you think is winning the war, Russia or Ukraine?
Is going to win, or is...
No,
how do we define that?
Right now, as we speak, today, the 26th of August of this year 2022, who do you think is winning the war? Russia or Ukraine?
Well, and we have, if it's anything like yesterday, we do have a lot of people from all around the world. So it would be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I want to see.
So let me.
I'm just curious on that one. I want to know if it's just me thinking one way or. Hang on, let me see what Mr. Burns said again. I think we are going to have a consolidation. Oh, absolutely. Consolidate those Bitcoin miners. Most will go bankrupt or even close it. And the best managed will capitalize on it. I think there's a scenario, Tom will think I'm crazy again. I think there's a scenario where Bitcoin could go to $3,000 just to screw with Michael Saylor. Russia is winning and it's not close.
Correctly. I feel like this is...
I'm setting up Ukraine. You want me to spell Ukraine for you?
This poll needs a disclaimer.
Yeah, I'm just only bought a lot. When Riot was at 30, we're gonna... All I know is, where did I bought Riot all over the place. I forgot Riot was even at 30. That's how bad I took it on the chin. Russia's winning for sure. Ukraine lost a while back.
I want the record to state I object to this poll, but we're doing it.
Why? Why would you object?
Because nobody wins. That's the whole point.
Well, make sure you vote, Tom, if you can.
That's not an option. My vote would be that nobody wins. So.
Oh, you would not believe this. Of 7 people have voted, everybody said Russia. If you haven't done so, please like the stream.
So.
Probably people are afraid to. I think they're getting on a watch list.
I felt uncomfortable even asking the question, but
why?
It's a real question. I know. It's just
I'm not being, dude. I mean, I have a friend that is from Ukraine.
You're trying to understand what the rest of the world's
yes, and this is the, and I mean, personally, I don't even know what to say is what's better, Russia or Ukraine. I don't even know anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, there's also so much. I think everybody's losing a lot of their trust in the media. So
you know what is sad? Not one person has said Ukraine out of the 10 people. Oh my God!
It'd be interesting to know where are you guys coming from around the world.
Oh my goodness! So I watched this guy on, and check him out.
I just ruined it.
Oh, you completed it?
This is the second day in a row I did that by accident.
Well, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows.
It was 11-0, so I think we know which direction that one was going in. Hi,
thanks,
Tom George. Shaman says hi, Tom and George. Thanks for your time and insight.
If you guys, let's see. I never recommend to follow anybody. But the run rush. There's a guy I watch. He's from Russia, and he's just a an everyday Joe. You know what I mean? And so that's why I follow him, just to see what life is like in Russia. And what is funny is, guess how much gas is in Russia? Well, granted, they have no money, but still, it's only like 70 cents a gallon.
Well,
What's his name? I forget his name.
oh, you're getting this from your guy who's there
Yeah, yeah.
from YouTube.
Yeah, right. And it's so neat to see bread's like, 50 cents, and it's just so neat, US dollars, sorry, just so you guys know. I'm factoring in the US dollars, because it's like, and I don't know if you remember, right as the war started, how much the Russian dollar got hammered. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the first reaction was that it got beaten down badly, but that reversed massively. So, the ruble?
Yeah, the ruble. And the rumor has it that the ruble is going with a digital currency any day now, if they didn't already do it.
Well, there's not too many countries that are going to buy their digital currency, in my opinion. That's all
I don't know if that's true anymore.
I'm guessing if any of our friends from Europe are on, I'm sure that not too many of countries in Europe are going to be interested in Russia's. Bitcoin family is adamant. Buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and hold for 6 months.
You think we're at the bottom, my friend?
Is Bitcoin family, are you a real person? I mean that in a real way. Those things when you got to click, like, are you a robot? And
Oh, I got
click
you.
the thing, like.
Weird energy today, though, Tom. It really hurt us, that Mr. Powell.
This is our weird energy right here. Because look what was happening so everybody's in pre-market going, all right, we're going up, and then the market opens and bam. It's the ultimate setup. It's a classic Friday. So I'm shocked we're holding right here. Let me get rid of this stupid line. You want to talk about a battle being fought? This is the battle right here. Which side of this line are we going to end up on? And you can see this is a battle between the Bulls and the Bears, because it's staying right there. So, and it tends to be a little bit under, but close enough that it's a tie right now. Ferenc says, I'm sorry for any mispronunciation of anybody's name. I'm from Hungary. The war between Russia and Ukraine is happening next to our country. Oof. Sad face. Yeah, is that affecting you guys in a big way?
So who's winning, in your opinion, right now, today? And if so, why do you feel that?
John Q. Public just bought 1 ETH today.
Don't you need 3 ETH to stake or whatever?
You need 32 ETH to stake, but 32. Is to make your own node. You can do the pooling with any amount of ETH. But then it's not your keys.
What does that mean? It's not my keys.
That means you're putting your money on exchange, and if that exchange is, for instance, Voyager or Celsius or whatever the next one is, everybody seems to think we're out of the woods with this liquidity problem, and so hopefully that's true, because we did not need that. That's what pushed us from, we were hanging out at Bitcoin 29,000, and then all of that hit, and that's what gave us this leg down that we're still sitting in right now.
Robert, I agree with you, and I hear that the banks are going to have a master account to handle most of crypto. Most of us peons for crypto. And I mean that nicely as peon. And dude, that was a great way. Maybe we should be online poker players for Mr. Burns because he's been using for deposits and withdrawals since 2016. I think that's a great idea. You know that?
Oh, nice.
I wonder if they're gonna get. Yeah, they're gonna get beat up.
Well, it depends where you live. I know a lot of people got burned on some of the big poker sites back in the day. That was a while ago now, but that was. I think one of those ended up paying back out, and I don't know. That was not good though. Let's see. Don't we have to get rid of the Fed before Bitcoin can take over? So this is where I differ with everybody. I'm going to give you my answer to that question. There's regulations coming in the United States and around the world. And right now, all of the cryptocurrency universe is being suppressed as a result of the uncertainty as to whether or not, how they're going to get regulated. But I do not think, one of the big things that people say is in the long term, well, Bitcoin's going to take over the dollar, and, the U.S. isn't going to want to let that happen. But I do not believe there's a scenario. Even Bitcoin at $1 million, I don't think takes over the dollar as the world's currency. So I think that Bitcoin has so much room to the upside. It's got a 10x, more than that. It's got a 20x just to be worth what gold is worth. And, gold is not the world's currency. It's a supply of, value, a store of value, but it's not the world's currency. So I think Bitcoin, I don't think it's an existential threat to anybody's, well, I won't say anybody. I think there's a lot of very small countries that would be wise to move to Bitcoin. But, I don't think I would think the euro represents more of a threat to the dollar in the long run than Bitcoin does, in my opinion. Just as far as becoming the world's currency. But I don't think that's going to happen either. So maybe that's because I live in America. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. How does everybody else around the world feel about that? Eric. Hey, Eric. Welcome. Eric saying, I'm thinking as long as Biden is in office, we're in the crapper. Well, that's at least 2 more years. So.
Maybe.
I don't.
Hot tip. You guys need to research AMP. This just in. Fresh off the wire.
AMP?
What does Charman mean about will QT push BTC down more? What does that mean, Tom?
Quantitative tightening, which is what the Fed, basically we got our, the Fed's going to use all means necessary speech. What was that? What was the thing you said?
QT? No, AMP. AMP.
We'll multitask while I'm answering that. First of all, I think that everything.
No one's picking on me. No one's picking on me with the moon, by the way. I couldn't believe that. Sorry.
I think everything that Jerome Powell said today, he had to say. There was no question he was gonna say that. They can only raise rates so much. So their worst case scenario is what's happening right now, which is they just made 2 historically high rate hikes, and everybody is still like, who cares? They're just gonna switch. By the end of the year, they're gonna be lowering rates. So that is counterbalancing their mission. So he's got to come out and scare people into thinking, we'll do this as long as it takes, and however much pain it is for everybody, we're going to keep raising rates and the quantitative tightening. And I don't think that's true. I think in all likelihood this time next year there will be quantitative easing and they'll be lowering rates. But in the meantime, I think that's all priced in. this market has bottomed, particularly the cryptocurrency is already really either in its winter or had its winter. And the markets have all been beaten up badly. So that's my answer to that. Ameriprise Financial, AMP. I'm not going to research this all the way right now while everybody has to sit here and watch, but just to give the Cliff's Notes. Market cap 30 billion. Financial products and services to individuals and institutional clients. Do we know these guys? Is this a name? I don't know if I know them. Well, I'll keep this window open and add that to the list, but I can't research it right now. So I keep going back to the 15-minute because I think this is going to break one way or the other.
Oh, right now? You think it's going to do it now?
I'm just wondering if while we're on the live stream, if this thing's going to break. The market is closed. Maybe they'll wait for after hours to close.
I'm going to make a really big purchase. Hang on a second.
Yeah, that's what you said last time.
We're making no. I'm Bitcoin. Just going to take it from one wallet to another wallet.
Just running it up.
So run it up.
We haven't really talked about the Bitcoin miners, surprisingly, today. So as this was if everybody...
Nobody wants to right now, Tom.
Remind everybody of the bad news. Today was rad. It was rad. I'll ask a question. I'm going to do a poll. Hive.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this one. Oh, look at that. That's insane. 2 gigabytes. I mean, 2 megabytes.
I'm going to make this real easy.
I'm uploading a theme for WordPress so that I can get my site back up. You know they're scared when they take your site down.
So, I did a thing on Hive, and there are some strong feelings out there in both directions right now as to
what does that
how
mean
that's
you
going to...
did a thing?
I made a video.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's a good question. Thank you.
I don't know, man.
Clarification of that is that I made a video on Hive, and this, this merge is happening. So this went from, I know that Frank, and he's talked to us a couple of times, and he's been very kind with his time and all that kind of stuff, and I thought he gave straightforward answers. But he has doubted that this was ever going to happen, and it looks now like it's a virtual certainty. Although we've been down this road, I understand this would not be a shock if it was delayed again. But they've put the dates out. They're saying, September, I think 10th, and then another part on the 20th, and then it's final. So Hive is by far, out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin miners, Hut has 10,000 NVIDIA machines, and they mine Ethereum and get paid in Bitcoin. But that is a much smaller percent of their business than with Hive. Hive, 30 to 35% of their machines are GPUs, which can't mine Bitcoin. So, they're not switching those to Bitcoin. So they got to do something with them. Now, they have grown
Litecoin.
Litecoin is proof of work. That's true. No, I don't.
I think they're doing a poll. What should we mine next?
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry, Frank.
Well, and then the question is, I should have made the other poll. Are we going to have a fork? Because I don't know if you guys see what Binance is doing. And Binance is the 800-pound gorilla. So, Coinbase is huge in the United States. But Binance is by far multiples the biggest exchange. They are shutting down trading of Ethereum when the merge happens for a period of time to wait to see what happens. They want to know, they have a plan A and a plan B if there's a fork. If there's a hard fork and, you know, with one proof of stake, one proof of work, they're not. So if you are using Binance, just know that on those 2 days, they're going to shut down. You can't get your Ethereum in or out on the day. They give the 2 days. If you go to their website, you can find out. But they're both in September. They're going to shut it down. And so what happens if there's a hard fork, they're going to issue a token on a 1-to-1 ratio for everybody that holds Ethereum. They're going to get, you know, the new token of whatever the hard fork is. So obviously they think that's a real possibility, or they wouldn't be shutting it down. So that's something that all these guys could potentially mine. And for Binance to do that, it also means, and then they said, you know, we're going to go through the regular scrutiny of the token and all that before we allow people to trade it. But if they're shutting it down and issuing the token, that means it's going to be on Binance, which means instead of not being liquid and not being able to trade, it's going to hit the ground running, because Ethereum and, you know, all the stable coins came out and basically said, and a lot of the exchanges we're supporting proof of stake and we're moving over to proof of stake, but there is a proof of work scenario out there. I can't even guess. Let's see how the poll is going. Let me try.
I haven't even looked yet at the poll.
Let me try not to accidentally close the poll. What is my...
Sorry, I just got to get one more thing over to this guy.
We got 20 votes. So I only gave 2 options. One, it's not going to be a problem for Hive, and the other one, Hive is going to crash. So 55 out of 20 votes, we got 55% that think Hive's going to crash due to the merge, and 45% that think it's not a problem so far. So if you haven't voted,
I went crash.
Cast your vote.
They're
Please.
crashing because of other reasons. Did you hear me?
You just think it's crashing, so that's your vote no matter what.
They're crashing. I told Tom I think I don't know if I should say this. Not financial advice, but I think Bitfarms is getting to $1.
Well, it got to $1.04.
I called $1 before. I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I mean $1.04. If it gets down to $1.04, we'll count it for you.
No, I'm saying $1. I said $1. I'm sticking by my guns. $1.
Colton said, "Can someone explain what happened today like I'm 5 years old?" So that's a good question. In other words, in simple terms, so that everybody can understand what happened today. And what happened is, so once a year they meet in Jackson Hole, and all the people
play golf.
Yeah, let's face it, it's a vacation for all these guys. So while they're at it, they have to give a little speech. So Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, gave it was 10.5-minute speech, but it was extremely hawkish, meaning he really indicated they were going to continue raising rates and quantitative tightening until inflation is at their target. And their target is 2%. So, I mean, if that is we are distantly away from that. He made a point to say, yes, I know it went down 1 month. Like, that's not even on our radar. Even if it goes down again this month, that's not enough evidence for us to say it's moving in the right direction. And we'd rather err on the side of caution and continue to raise rates, you know, for longer, if that's what it takes. So all you people essentially that think we're going to flip-flop and start lowering rates by the end of the year, you can forget it, because that's not going to happen. So that's what Jerome Powell said. Now, whether you believe that's true or not, we don't know. But it was a 10.5-minute, you know, it was a history lesson. He was going back to, here's what happened in the 70s, here's what happened. So he said, I've learned 3 things, and essentially they all pointed to the fact that he needs to keep raising rates, and they need to keep raising rates. And, you know, as much as... So the market crashed. Well, that, you know, that's a relative term. The market took that news very poorly, down between 3 and 4%. And Bitcoin, you know, this right here, this little, well, that's the wrong chart. This candle was his speech right here. So that's what Jerome Powell did to us today. We went from the green line, which was good. We were trying to break out to the upside. And by the end of that speech, we were at the blue line down around 20,700, looking to potentially break to the downside. So no surprise, we went from one line right to the other. Hopefully that made sense. Let's see. John Q. Public. August futures expired today. Bitcoin should be rising for a couple weeks. Okay, so that's a good thing. Right. I mean, all those kinds of things. We got a diamond hands on Hut 8. So, I mean, I like Hut 8. You guys know I like Hut 8. You guys know I like Bitfarms, CleanSpark. That's not new news. That's not financial advice, but those are big positions for me. And the position that I got to reset, because I got out of a long time ago, was Riot. So that's now one of my bigger positions. And unlike the other ones, like I took the whole ride down with Bitfarms. But with Riot, I got out a long, long time ago and got back in somewhere near the bottom. And I consider I took the ride down with CleanSpark. I did not get in back when it was trading at 40, but, you know, I started buying in the teens. So I've had to do a lot of dollar cost averaging into CleanSpark too. But, you know, long term, my view has not changed long term at all. I'm very bullish long term for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. And, you know, all these, to me, these are all buying opportunities. And I don't even want to say I'm rooting for it, because be careful what you wish for. But I am viewing, I feel like we're going to get another buying opportunity sometime in the next week or two here.
And then you're saying that's bottom.
And then I'm saying, yeah, that's it. Then I'm saying we take another run up. And that doesn't mean it's straight up back in a bull market to the moon. But I think we're going to end the year over 30,000. Bitcoin 30,000 or higher by the end of the year, in my opinion. And that's going to make a monumental difference for the Bitcoin miners. Sitting here at 20,000, you know, on the brink of, you know, some of these companies can't make money, or sitting at 30,000 is all the difference in the world. And there's some of these companies at 30,000, their profit margin is massive. So that's another thing, you know, not all these, the cost per coin varies greatly between these Bitcoin miners. So once a month I do a chart showing that, and, you know, they are not all created equal by any means. And that doesn't matter at Bitcoin 70,000, but it matters a lot at Bitcoin 20,000.
I did not know that. I just find it interesting that we're even talking $30,000. Isn't that crazy?
If you would have told any of us last March, not this March, last 2021, that, you know, we'd be sitting at 20,000 Bitcoin in the middle of 2022, I don't think anybody would have believed it. Everybody was, you know, it was, when are we going to hit 100,000? It was Plan B. Plan B was the only thing anybody talked about. Oh, it's Plan B. 100,000, 200,000, 300. But
do you think Plan B even comes? Does anybody know what Plan B is even saying now?
Yeah, he's put out a few other new. He had a couple other charts he was following all along, and then he's put out a few new theories. But I mean, honestly, I never felt like Plan B's chart made any sense. His stock to flow model, if you really look at it, I mean, if you zoom out enough and, you know, give a margin of error of enough, you can say that any chart makes sense. But to me, that never made sense, and the premise of it never made sense at all.
I can't read it, but I want to read. I've typed in Plan B. Just type in Plan B in Twitter.
Oh, boy.
I can't read it, but if you, I can't.
Is it just negativity and hostility, or is it unrelated inappropriateness?
It's unrelated, probably appropriate, but Wow. Do you think Bitcoin? Hang on, this was a September 21. This was in September of 2021. Do you think Bitcoin will reach 500,000, 288K, 100K, or will Bitcoin stay below 100K by Christmas 2021?
So
I missed it by that much. Everybody said 100K.
was that a Plan B poll?
Yes, that was a Plan B poll.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't. But remember that when we're sitting here at 20 thinking the sky is falling, because the same thing is true to the downside as it is to the upside. It's never as good as you think it's going to be, and it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. And by never, I mean usually it's not. So that's my theory. Ian Burns said a little simpler answer would be the Fed said inflation is still here and inflation is bad. So yeah, that is a simpler answer. I agree. Alex says, my opinion, Frank is just a promoter. I mean, he's definitely gets a lot. His word, the only thing more efficient than their Bitcoin mining is his words per minute that he speaks. I mean, he can talk. There's no doubt about that. But we'll see. I don't know. Let's see how our poll is doing. Oh, Crash is winning. We now have 29 votes. So if you just joined in, we're having you can see there's a vote we're having on how the merge is going to affect Hive. Right now, people are pessimistic about Hive's potential.
Estimate. Do you buy MicroStrategy? Juan says, or Win. Sorry, Win.
So I don't own any MicroStrategy, and I'm not going to buy any MicroStrategy. I don't have any problem with somebody that is playing Bitcoin that way because they are a slightly leveraged trade on Bitcoin. So in theory, if Bitcoin goes up, you should do a little bit better with MicroStrategy than you would do straight up with Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin miners are a massive leverage play on Bitcoin. So to me, I'd rather have my money in the, and they're not all created equal. Obviously, you got to do your due diligence. Some of these companies probably are not going to be here this time next year. So, or sooner. But the ones that do win, when Bitcoin goes back up to 70 or 100,000, I mean, you could be looking at 10x's. When Bitcoin 3x's, you could be getting a 10x out of the miners potentially.
I have a question real quick, Tom.
Yeah.
So let me understand something. If you have an agreement where you can't talk about something, but you tell me, can I talk about it? Or is that still bad?
I can't tell you if I have an agreement that I can't talk about it. So how did I tell you in the first place?
Oh, you can't even tell me that you can't talk about it. Oh, I thought maybe you could tell me.
Non-disclosure is non-disclosure.
So you can't tell your wife either?
Well, I suppose you can tell your significant other anything.
Well, what if you write it down and you put it on toilet paper and you flush it away? Is that okay?
Well, then you didn't tell anybody. So,
okay,
yeah,
see?
I think that would be acceptable.
I mean, I just do this weird thing. I write on the toilet paper, and, sometimes you're sitting, remember on, what was it, on, with, who was that? Oh, the funny guys, not Beverly Hills Cop, the other one. Where he boom, remember it said boom on the toilet paper? Boom. Sorry, bad movie quotes by George. Boom.
I usually get them. I didn't get this one.
Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
when he's sitting on the toilet paper.
Danny Glover at the beginning of the movie.
Boom.
Yeah, that was like Lethal Weapon 3 by then, maybe 2 or 3. Now I caught up with you. That took me a minute.
Colton, it's really funny because I bought your girlfriend Plan B too, so I had to do it. You guys set me up like that. I'm not going to miss it, okay? I'm going to hit it out of the park, okay? Bam.
I know Alex
CDC
said he was... Oh, go ahead.
CDC. Bitcoin's going to 15K. Most miners should be under $1, don't you guys think? At what moment do you load the boat and hold long term, Tom?
So I don't think it's fair to say that most miners should be under $1. There's a vast discrepancy in the amount of shares that these miners have. So, in other words, I feel like CleanSpark and Riot and Marathon, they're not getting anywhere near $1, in my opinion. But, you know, when you sit there and look at Bitfarms, you know, they're at $1.34 right now. So it's pretty easy to believe they could go down and hit $1. Hut 8, they could get into the low ones. Cores was just there. Bit Digital. I have a glimmer of hope for Bit Digital. I spent a year with them, not really telling us what's going on, feeling like maybe all was lost with them. But I feel like maybe they've turned a corner. But they could easily hit $1 or less. DigiHost is already under $1. That's after they did a reverse split. So okay, I know that's what everybody was afraid of with Hive. That DigiHost reverse split spooked everybody.
So I will say something about Marathon. What happens, Tom, if Marathon, which it looks like it's going to happen again, turns in an awful report at the end of August for mining Bitcoin?
I think that is, I would expect that.
I mean, I would think that right now, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, it could, I mean, let's say it comes in anywhere lower than what they do, 70?
73, I think.
Right, and I think it's probably good, according to, did you ever verify that report about the flood in the...
I could not verify any water damage situation down there, so that doesn't mean it didn't happen, but we'll see if that's their next excuse. Here's the thing. I don't even think anybody's having any expectations for August. Marathon ran up on the fact that on their potential, right? I mean, they do have 80 or 100,000 machines. It's just none of them are plugged in. So, you know, that's...
Yeah, but what are they saying by the end of the year? At what point in time do you realize they're lying, is what I'm saying?
Well, they're saying 13.3 exahash by the end of the year, and soon thereafter, 23.3 exahash. So, you know, they got 5, 6, 7 months to go from, they're at less than 1 exahash right now. So they got to find a way to add 23 exahash fast.
Did you see this? That Tim just wrote the Marathon pulls back online, by the way.
Ah, they're back up. All right, so now we can take a little closer
look. Doesn't mean they're using it.
Have they actually gotten any?
I'm looking. I'm going right now.
Tim's asking, have you looked at Q2 earnings and done a cost per coin analysis of the miners yet? I recall you doing that in Q1. So one at a time, I've done several of those as I did the individual videos, but I have not yet done my monthly update. So that is going to be this weekend. I'll be comparing cost per coin by company and understanding that a few of these companies, the way they account for things, I do have to use some estimates because they just don't disclose enough information to actually calculate the cost per coin. So I'll put a star next to those, but they should still be fairly accurate. I feel like all these companies got to get on the same page with their financial disclosures. There should who was I looking at yesterday? They have a hosting segment, Mawson, and so they have hosting revenue and mining revenue broken out on their income statement in their 10Q, but then they just have cost of sales, one number, and then under accounting policies in the footnotes, they say we do not have any segments, so everything's one segment. So it's like you can't break revenue into two segments on your income statement, or whatever the new word for that is, and then say you don't have segments. So in other words, it's hard to calculate a cost per coin for them because they put all their energy cost into the same line, and I don't know how much of that was for the machines they host and how much of that was for the machines that they own. So I'll try and divide it out by exahash, so that's how I'll do my estimating, but that's something they should disclose in my opinion. They know the number, so why not tell us? Alex wants to know, George, will you buy Bitfarms at $1? Is that low enough for you?
I don't know. At $1 Canadian? Yes, absolutely.
No, at one US dollar. You're not gonna buy Bitfarms at $1?
Oh, I did. I just said $1 Canadian.
So you're gonna buy it at, what is that, 70 cents?
50, I don't know, free.
Let's do the math.
Hey, do we have any people from Canada? Watching? We used to have a big presence in Canada. Because remember, I used to sing the national anthem of Canada? Oh,
77
Canada.
cents.
Oh, Canada.
So George is on record after that stirring rendition of "Oh Canada" that he will buy Bitcoin. He will buy Bitfarms at 77 cents US. That is what you're saying.
Is it go, oh, Canada,
No
oh,
response.
Canada.
He can
how's it
neither
go?
confirm nor deny that, apparently.
Home of the brave. Is that what it goes?
Marathon Pool is back online. Tim saying they have mined more than 130 Bitcoin this month.
Whoa!
And then he said that's not true.
Well, that's the pool, and who knows who's in the pool?
Listen, it would not surprise me if they mined a couple hundred Bitcoin in the month of August. Their plan right now was to be mining almost 2,000 Bitcoin a month. So if they mine 130 or 200, that's not really moving the needle. You guys are fantastic. Thank you. Savi, is that how you pronounce it? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Tom is, I'm not. God save us from the Queen. I've been saying that for years. What's not true? Oh, I got you. Sorry, my dogs are hyper.
I hear them. I hear the dogs. I'm going to check in on the poll again. We now have 35 votes. 2/3 of voters believe that Hive is going to crash at or before the merge. I mean, let's put it this way. The last 3 days for Hive have been very brutal. This is three very
It's a shelf offering. Stop it. I mean, why don't they put their own money in and buy the companies?
Well, that's several $100 million market cap company. I mean,
come on. Blah, blah. What's a couple $100 million between friends?
Yeah, sure. Well, you buy it. Although
I was thinking
wouldn't buy
about
Hive
it.
if you're going to buy one. Not that
I
I'm
was thinking
disparaging
about it.
Hive. It just wouldn't be the one that I buy.
I have to go. Google did something like
That
I
is saying
can't.
at least they
freaking
might have found the needle. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's step one. They got to start turning machines on. I can't fathom what excuse they have for having no. We're talking about Marathon for having no machines on at all right now. I mean, it's been 2 straight monthly updates that they've said they have 20,000 machines already all set up and staged, ready to be plugged in. So, I mean, plug them in. That's my free advice. Colton says, I'm from Canada, Vancouver Island.
Ooh, I don't know where that is.
Welcome, hello to Canada. Bitcoiner
Finally.
mostly are mined, so after a few years, these companies are going to go bankrupt. So, you know, there's a halving coming up in 2024. There's still several million Bitcoin left to be mined. So there's plenty of revenue out there for these companies. You know, maybe not for all 20 of them to prosper, but there are going to be winners. So, you know, I would say, Allie, for right, you'll be right for some of these, but some of these companies, in my opinion, are going to win big. This is about picking the winners and the losers now. And it didn't it was only a year and a half ago, there were only 2 trading on the NASDAQ. So those of you in Canada were still, and I was buying over the counter in the U.S., Bitfarms and Hut. But, you know, now all of a sudden we've got 20 plus companies.
Oh, Canada.
Tim's saying he didn't include depreciation or goodwill impairment. I don't know who that's answering to. Colton's giving us the words to the Seth. There is an infinite amount of Bitcoin to be mined. Well, there's another 120 years worth of it. So
I think we'll all be dead by the time.
yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have a price target for Bitfarms 120 years from now.
I might do cryogenics, just so you guys know. I've been thinking about it.
You're going to be that. I don't know. Well, you buy a bunch of Bitcoin now, go into cryogenics, wake up 20 years from now.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it.
Because there's no way you're holding it for that long. That's not happening.
Peloton. Tom, take that one. I'm more bullish. I don't know, man. Tim, I'm scared of Marathon.
They're now getting the benefit of selling energy when they curtail. A lot of these companies are making some decent money not mining Bitcoin. There's no doubt. I mean, Riot made over $9 million.
In 1 month?
Yeah, by not, by powering down. So, but to me, it's good news and it's bad news, especially when Bitcoin's this low. It's, that's a nice supplemental income. But, from a long-term standpoint, you hope that that's not an equal part of their business, is kicking energy back to the grid. But a part of the argument that, Bitcoin is a good thing for the, overall environment and for green in the future is that they have incentivized new green energy because they're, a customer base. And they all have these agreements to kick, well, I don't know if it's to the company, but most of them have agreements to curtail and kick energy back to the grid when necessary.
I'm going to pick on Marathon. They have a marathonpool.com, M-A-R-A pool.com, right?
Okay.
You go to contact us. It doesn't work. And then if you go to the bottom, and I'm sorry, but Bitcoin is basically a technology company, right?
Yeah, but
Wouldn't you
is
say
that website associated with the company, or is that
powered by Marathon?
I don't know.
Powered by Marathon? I don't know. You know what I mean?
They're insinuating that, certainly.
Is a U.S.-based Bitcoin mining pool that focuses on reducing the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining through carbon neutral mining. Yeah, this is it. This pool, which is fully audited by a third-party firm in the USA, provides its members with industrial leading transparency. But anyways, that wasn't even my whole point, which this is them, by the way.
Okay.
The bottom, they don't even know how to do a freaking copyright update so that it says 2022. It says 2021. And I'm sorry, once you do the internet stuff and you know how easy something like that is, it's like, are you kidding me? It will automatically update itself. And they can't figure that out.
That is true, but if you look at a lot of these websites, it's shocking how bad. Don't go look at DigiHost's website or you'll.
Oh, really? Is it that bad?
I can't even.
No, I'm going.
No comment. It's
now they're gonna get hit. Like all these people are gonna hit them.
Hey, listen, they can update their website. That's on them. Bitcoin won't be around. What am I missing here in the comments? Guys, what if we don't see another all-time high on Bitcoin, says Savvy? I mean, nobody can say that that's impossible. I am very bullish on Bitcoin for fundamental reasons. So I think we will see all-time highs sooner than probably most of the rest of you think. I do not think it's going to be years and another cycle and after the halving before we get back to Bitcoin all-time high, in my opinion. But if they never see another all-time high, then it depends. Do they level off in the $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 range where the Bitcoin miners can still be profitable, or are they lingering at 20,000? At which point, then, yeah, then most of these companies, even if they do make it, are not going to be worth owning. If Bitcoin is going to sit at 20,000 for the next 3 years, then it's not worth owning these companies. In my opinion, that's not financial advice.
Oh my goodness. So DigiHost used the exact same company that I used to do their website. That's when,
Oh, you're looking at their
for
site?
for my crypto. Yeah, for the crypto.
Did
Yeah.
you check out their investor relations?
They use the exact same. I mean, are you guys kidding me?
I don't know what is going on with Bitcoin. It's like jumping up and down $100 like in a second. That's like the third time it happened. We got Ian. We have your Mr. Burns saying Bitcoin won't be around. There will always be a next generation coin waiting. Take ETH. Bitcoin dominance for the past years just keeps dropping. So soon, like within a year, I think a flipping. Okay, so you're not alone. A lot of people think that Ethereum is going to take over. I am not of that opinion. And the other thing about the Bitcoin dominance that people have to realize is there's now 100 or 120 billion dollars in stable coins. So that is changing the Bitcoin dominance equation. So you got to account for the stable, stable coins used to be less than 1% of the total crypto market. And now they're a very significant portion of the market. Even with that, I will admit, Bitcoin's dominance is down off of its previous highs, and it probably will never get back to, the 70s and 80% dominance. But it doesn't have to hit its own all-time highs. And I believe that 10 years from now, Bitcoin will still be the largest cryptocurrency, and they will have no period in the middle where anybody passed them. That's my belief. But, Mr. Burns, you are not alone. A lot of people think Ethereum's going to take them over. Having said that, a lot of people think that there's 3 or 4 coins that are going to take Ethereum over, and Ethereum.
Thank you. I was waiting for it. I don't even think Ethereum's going to stay number 2.
So you're one of those people. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're about to do something very drastic within the next month. Let's see how that goes.
Well, let's see. I have a feeling that's more, what's the word? Insidious than everybody realizes. Remember, and this was a conversation I had with Tom. Remember, I think I'm smart. Only reason I think I'm smart is because I remember what Tom says to me. Tom's like, look, that's not what this is for. This is no longer, what is it? Proof of work.
Right, it's not proof of work anymore.
And if it's not proof of work, it can get manipulated.
They keep saying, there's these talking points that I've read in no less than 30 articles. Oh, they're doing the merge to make Ethereum cheaper and faster, and it's not doing the merge doesn't do either of those things. It saves energy. It drastically reduces the amount of energy that the Ethereum network will use. So that is what the merge does. Now they have a bunch of other changes that are equal in scale to the merge. Those have the potential to make Ethereum faster and cheaper. But the merge is not going to affect gas prices at all. And it's not going to affect their ability to increase their speed at which they make transactions at all. So
that's insane.
Those are talking points that are in almost every single article, and they're not true.
Has anybody here used Ethereum to buy stuff? I have. And I was like, are you kidding me? How can it be this expensive? I mean, it's more than a credit card machine. And there's no reason for it.
And it fluctuates. It fluctuates drastically. It depends when you're doing things. You could get lucky, and other times it's been horrendous. But that's not what the merge is about. What they're saying is the merge is a building block. So we need to do the merge first, And when we do the merge, then we can do the other things. The merge, the surge, the purge. You guys think I'm making this up. Look it up. Those are all future gigantic changes to Ethereum that are coming. The surge. I don't know who made all those names up. It wasn't me, but these are all gigantic. And that's how they, so they're saying, once we do all that, it's going to do all these other things. But somebody asked you, is it Solano, George? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I was just going to tell you, I'm a big ISO 222 guy.
So what's
is Solano on there? I don't know if Solano is. That's why I was going to look. How is HBAR? HBAR is his rumors to be compliant. There's no way. There's just no way. Cardano, XRP, Stellar. I'd be real interested. I don't know whoever watches that guy on HBAR about HBAR, the guy who invented HBAR. He's an interesting person.
I mean, here's the thing that I would agree with you on this, George. Ethereum is now moving to proof of stake, just like all the other coins that they compete with are already doing. So, to me, that's counterintuitive. Why go be like everybody else if they're the second biggest coin by a mile right now, and they're making a fundamental change? I think there's a risk there. I just do.
I think that I know what the pink elephant is in the room, and I think Ethereum's going to be it, and I think it's going to be worth a lot of money also.
You think Ethereum's going to be? Well, you called Ethereum $10,000.
I know. I said I believe Ethereum's going to be worth a lot of money. Not financial advice, not crypto advice.
Well, I remember in November.
I don't think it's going away. But now, which coin are you talking about? Because there's going to be so many of them with Ethereum.
Well, you're going to have. We got Ethereum Classic already, but I don't think that is the long-term big winner. It's, I think, 1/20th the market cap of Ethereum. But there's a very distinct possibility we'll have one or more forks.
You know what? It's so funny because Burns is talking about something that's near and dear to my heart. About Ethereum, he transferred. Yeah, you got lucky because the site covered the gas fees. I'm not so lucky. I had to pay him. But they got their money within 15 minutes. You want to know what's faster than that? Does anybody know that the fastest coin out there? That there's currently an SEC lawsuit against them?
I was going to say, come on, Seth, if you're still here, I know you know this one.
It is XRP. Supposedly, still today, XRP is the fastest and the greenest. Fastest and the greenest.
I mean, Bitcoin is never going to lay claim to being the greenest. However, the Bitcoin miners have made great strides in using green energy. But the fact is that proof of work takes a lot more energy, and that's what the merge is about with Ethereum. They're going to get off of that and reduce their energy by 99% or more. So, John Q. Public is waiting on the next DigiHost reverse split. Yeah, you might not have to wait too long because did they go under $1 today?
Did they? Oh my goodness.
I think so. I don't know why I'm not seeing them. They're on this.
That's gonna kill.
Yeah, 97 cents. Here we go again. I sold all of my. I have made very, very few changes over the last year and a half. But I talked about on the live stream, and I think I did a video a couple of months ago. I had to pull the plug on my DigiHost, and I moved that money half into Riot, half into HUT, I believe. So I still left it all invested. I just moved it over to things that I have a higher level of conviction in. DigiHost had some bad breaks, whether you want to call them bad business or bad breaks, whatever the case may be. Their situation has gotten worse in the last year by far, not better. So doesn't mean that they're not going to make it. You know, they got something going in Alabama, and that might all work out for them in the end. But I couldn't wait around any longer and watch them go down. You know, they're under $1 now. So in the short term, I'm glad I made that change. We'll see where it all ends.
I gotta leave, guys. It was good. I had fun.
Well, we should probably wrap it up. So let's say thanks to everybody. Thank you so much. If you haven't hit
What's
the
the
like
update
button,
of the stream real quick? I mean, the poll. 65 crashed, 35 not a problem.
Okay, so we had 40 votes on the poll, and 2/3 of the people think Hive is going to crash. So that is our final result of our poll. So, all right, well, have a great weekend, everybody. Today was a bummer. Friday was a red day. You can thank Jerome Powell. He did his thing, but I think we all knew he was going to do that.
I heard it's because he got beat on the golf course. Is that true?
We talked about in yesterday's live stream that was exactly what he was going to do. He was going to come out and say the scariest stuff that he could say. That's his job. So there was just no doubt that's what was going to happen, and that's what he did. So, well, hopefully it doesn't have long-term effects, but we're still under. So we spent virtually the entire stream under this line of support. So, but we're still very close to it. So we'll see what happens. That's what I'm looking for this weekend, guys. So I hope all you guys had a good week. Don't let Friday get you down.
Thanks, guys.
George, we're signing off. All right, so thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. And thanks for all the comments. And all the comments, all the likes, all that is helping out a lot. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. And thanks for hanging out with us on the live stream.